If there's one thing that really frustrates me, it's when so-called anxiety experts on the internet tell us that anxiety can strike for no reason. This is wrong. There is always a reason why we feel anxious. Oftentimes, believing anxiety can strike for no reason just exacerbates our anxiety. Conversely, understanding the reason why we feel anxious at any given time can go a long way towards calming, reducing, and ultimately controlling our anxiety levels. With that in mind, having already done videos on why we might feel anxious in the morning or in the middle of the night, in this video, I'm going to be explaining some of the reasons why we might feel anxious in the evening time, when we effectively have nothing to do but sit down at the end of a long day and relax. Let's do it. So welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, I'm Tim Box. I'm a mind coach, and for more than a decade now, I've been working with people to help them overcome all sorts of emotional and psychological issues, and in particular, helping them get control of anxiety. So before we get started, do me a favor and hit that like button and share this video to help others get the other side of their anxiety issues. But without further ado, here are the main reasons why we might feel anxious in the evening and what we can actually do about this. When we're used to dealing with high anxiety, we very quickly get into the habit of scanning our body for any physical signs. These signs will vary from person to person. Perhaps it's tension in the chest, or a tummy ache, or a change of breathing or heart rate. We all have our particular part of our body that is the first place we scan when checking whether or not we feel anxious right now. The problem is that scanning for something we are afraid of, or at least wary of, is an anxious thing to do, and often causes the very anxiety we're hoping not to find. The reason we might trigger this type of anxiety just as we sit down on the sofa to relax at the end of the day is because it might be the first time that day we've actually had time to self-scan. Keeping our mind busy during the day might have stopped us doing the very thing that causes that anxiety. Now, this doesn't mean the answer is to constantly keep your mind busy and never relax again. We don't want to try and defeat anxiety by creating a constant state of stress. The answer is to stop your mind from automatically returning to the self-scanning default whenever you try and rest. The only reason you're doing it right now is because you perceive anxiety to be of threat to you. The simple truth is that anxiety is not an illness or anything that can harm or kill you. It's simply one of your emotions, and your own emotions are nothing to be afraid of. Some feel good and some feel not so good, but none of them can harm you. As soon as you accept this, then the self-scanning will stop, and that's because your mind is no longer seeking information about a potential threat. When the urge to self-scan stops, then your mind will default to naturally winding down and relaxing when you disengage from the daily challenges. Talking of relaxing, how hard do you try to relax at the end of the day? When we struggle to switch off from our work worries or constantly feel burdened by our concerns, it can start to habitually interrupt that natural winding down process that we're all meant to do at the end of the day. This can lead us to attempt to overcome this by trying harder to relax. We might then start to put a lot of effort and focus on this. We might finish the day wanting to get a good couple of hours downtime, maybe reading a book or watching TV, but no matter how hard we try, we can't seem to feel the level of relaxation we desire. However, relaxing is a bit like sleeping, in as much as the more conscious effort we put into it, the less successful we are at achieving it. As strange as it might sound, relaxed is our default state. When there's no threat and no actions to take, our mind and body will very naturally seek to recharge. We never forget how to do that because we never learned to do it in the first place. It just happens when we stop doing. If you're finding yourself putting a lot of focus on how relaxed you are from moment to moment, then have a bit more faith in what your mind does automatically. Oftentimes, the only thing that interrupts the natural wind down process is how much conscious focus and effort we might be putting into achieving it. Stop trying to relax and stop analyzing how relaxed or tense you are from moment to moment. You don't need to focus on relaxing to do it, and you do it much better when you're not focusing on it. But you might be watching this now and offering up the counter argument that you don't naturally unwind because you're thinking about important things that require your attention. Well, okay, let's address that. I'm now doing a weekly live Q&A on the channel every Friday at 6 p.m. UK time, where you can ask me your anxiety-related questions, so please join me for that. You can also become a member of the channel and receive extra content every week, including video tutorials of my full system for change with extra insights and exclusive weekly live streams. Just hit the join button on the home page. Many people struggle to switch off at the end of the day, and that can be for a number of reasons. Perhaps our work is hectic and we worry about how best to stay on top of things. Perhaps we're the type of person that feels the need to have thought through every scenario that could possibly happen at the meeting tomorrow, so we're not caught out. Or maybe we've just been brought up to believe that truly stopping to rest, is what lazy, unsuccessful people do. This can result in part of us feeling instantly anxious whenever we attempt to just switch off for a while. In these instances, it's important to remember that as human beings, we don't operate well in a state of perpetual activity. We can do a lot of things in a short amount of time, and we're versatile and resourceful, but we do these things best in bursts, punctuated by periods of extended rest and recuperation. Whatever's going to happen tomorrow, we'll be better equipped having rested and replenished our energies so we can perform our best, rather than having stayed constantly vigilant trying to play fortune teller to every possible problem that might occur. And if we think constant hustle is the key to success because we've seen successful people talk about doing it that way, it's good to remember that there are a great many more non-stop hustle people who are unsuccessful, exhausted, and unhappy. To rest and switch off is not the lazy thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Every machine operates best with a fully charged battery, and we are no exception. So when you feel the subconscious resistance to simply allowing yourself to rest, then remind yourself that the best version of you is the entirely rested version. Talking of being entirely rested, it's not uncommon for those that struggle to get good sleep to feel excessively anxious in the evenings. I've had many clients describe the way their anxiety will gradually start to escalate as the hour approaches to go to bed. They might feel exhausted by the end of the day, but are overly anxious and adrenalized by the time they want to sleep because they just know they're going to struggle to actually drop off. It's important to recognize again that this isn't some kind of malfunction. It's simply our mind anticipating some degree of struggle and responding appropriately. Expecting an unpleasant experience will result in our mind and body preparing us for this by filling us with cortisol and adrenaline. Once again, the secret of halting this type of anxiety is to minimize the perceived threat. There are a lot of videos on this channel about sleep, and please check those out if you haven't already, but perhaps the most important point to remember is that getting a good night's sleep, whilst important, is not as important as simply getting some rest. Resist the temptation to fear the unknown. No, we don't know how well or badly we will sleep tonight, but we know we're choosing to rest. That's a good thing and nothing to be afraid of. Instead of becoming frustrated with any lack of sleep, instead look forward to that time in bed where you have nothing to do and nothing to ponder or puzzle over. If you can diminish the stakes when it comes to sleep, then you can eradicate any anticipatory anxiety surrounding it. You'll be surprised how quickly your mind will stop viewing the evening as a precursor to the ensuing struggle and start viewing it as the start of your relaxation time. Speaking of expectations, don't be surprised if the reason we feel anxious in the evenings has at some point become because we're expecting to. I had a client once who told me how every evening at a certain time, almost without fail, they would get a sudden rush of anxiety for seemingly no reason, so you could almost set a watch by it. The funny thing was that when she started, she knew exactly what that anxiety was about. She had a job she hated, and as soon as it got near bedtime in the evening, she knew she was getting closer and closer to having to return there the next morning. This is what caused her to feel so anxious. But by the time we were speaking, she'd left that job months ago and was now in a job she loved. However, because she'd started to view anxiety as a problem, she was fearing the feeling each evening, and it was very much her anxiety about feeling anxious that was now causing it. As soon as she understood that this feeling was of no threat and just a bit of a hangover from old times, which in itself was quite natural and nothing to be worried about, the evening anxiety completely disappeared. It's quite common that the anxiety we refer to as for no reason is what we call the second fear, the anxiety about anxiety striking and continuing, and of course what that might mean for us in the long term. If there's one thought that's worth taking from this video, it's that feeling anxious is not in itself a malfunction or an indicator of illness. If we can accept this, then a lot of the anxieties we feel from day to day reduce greatly because we don't pile on that extra concern. So often, evening anxiety is actually the second fear interrupting the natural process of unwinding and switching off for the day. Let go of that and we reduce anxiety greatly. So I really hope this video has been of value to you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Remember to leave a like and why not share this video to help others. Also, please consider hitting the subscribe button and ring that notification bell for weekly anxiety advice videos. But that's it for now. I'm Tim Box, Mind Coach. Always remember to be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.